Hello and welcome back to another video. It's been quite a while since I released my last video on Scarlet Witch, but today we're going to be shifting our focus away from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and into the DC Extended Universe, and in particular my favourite DC superhero, The Flash.
No honor among thieves, eh?
Barry Allen has only had one appearance in the DCEU so far, that being in Justice League. Although he does have an upcoming movie in 2022, this means there's not too much to go off of when trying to gauge his speed and power, and not to mention that he didn't really have too many scenes in Justice League to begin with, and so we're going to have to rely on statements from other characters to calculate some otherwise unquantifiable feats. Barry has done some decently impressive things in the movie, like viewing Bruce's Batarang in slow motion and passing Wonder Woman her sword. Both of these feats are examples of what the Arrowverse likes to call flash time. This is just the Flash accelerating his perceptions to a point where everything seems to be standing still. From Barry's perspective, time passes a lot slower because of how much faster he is than everyone else. In the comics, Barry can travel faster than the speed of light itself, the fastest possible speed in our universe. Could this version of Barry do the same? Well, let's find out. The most intense example of this comes from when Barry faces off against Superman. After the rest of the League proved to be ineffective in trying to even budge the Man of Steel, Barry decides to speed off and take care of him before anyone notices. But to his surprise, Superman does notice, and also accelerates his perceptions into flash time, tracking Barry with his eyes before flinging Cyborg, Aquaman and Wonder Woman and swinging for Barry's head as he approaches him. Barry manages to avoid this blow but ends up slipping and falling over, something that he does a lot of in this film. Anyway, Superman then leaps towards Barry and throwing several more punches, all of which Barry is able to dodge, but after being flung off Superman's chest into the wall behind him, is out of the fight and therefore out of flash time. Here's the battle in its full glory. Now, in order to figure out Barry's speed here, we need to find a ratio between flash time and real time, and then multiply that by his speed in flash time. The whole interaction between Superman and the Flash lasted around 45 seconds in flash time, so all we have to do is figure out how long it lasted in real time. And in order to do that, we are going to turn to an underrated character in this film, Cyborg. Now, I don't want to talk about Cyborg too much as I intend to dedicate an entire video going over his abilities, but while explaining the power of the Mother Box Unity to Batman, Flash, Aquaman and Wonder Woman, he says he might be able to cause a delay between each box for a nanosecond.
The Unity brings all three boxes together in perfect sync. Its power builds until it can't be contained. But if I can cause a delay between each box, even for a nanosecond, its energy will cascade, form a loop, and feed on each other.
And that's it? We just pull them apart? No fuss, no muss?
Separating the boxes is still going to cause a massive surge. I'll have to be there, but you guys should think about getting clear.
We're with you till it's done.
This is very important information as it should imply that Cyborg has the ability to perceive nanoseconds. Now, in my video regarding Captain America, which I will link in the description below, I talk about the shortest amount of time a normal human can perceive as being called the speciated present, being equal to about 80 milliseconds. Cyborg being able to perceive in nanoseconds would mean his perceptions are 80 million times faster than the average humans. This would make sense as we've seen him react to the likes of Superman's heat vision, which in the guidebook for Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice is stated to be a red beam of light, implying that it travels at the speed of light. We can also see that it behaves like light as it bounces off reflective surfaces. In 1 nanosecond, light can only move a distance of about 1 foot, or to be more precise, 29.9792458 centimeters, We should explain why he was able to raise his arm so early on during this attack. Knowing that he can react to light but not Superman and Barry's fight is evidence to suggest that Barry was indeed moving faster than light, but we still need to figure out by how much. Cyborg's perceptions tell us that the longest this battle could have lasted in real time would be only 1 nanosecond, and since a nanosecond is just a billionth of a second, and the fight was 45 seconds long in flash time, that would mean from Barry's perspective we're seeing things 45 billion times slower than they're actually happening. We can see that throughout the interaction Barry is able to keep a steady jogging pace. According to healthline.com, the average jogging speed is between 4 and 6 miles per hour. We can take the average of this and assume Barry was jogging at 5 miles per hour. Taking this value and multiplying it by 45 billion, we get a speed of over 100 billion meters per second. That's over 335 times the speed of light. From here we can nicely transition into the amount of kinetic energy Barry would have while moving at this speed, and therefore know how hard he would hit. All we'd have to do is multiply half of Barry's mass by his velocity squared. According to healthyceleb.com, Ezra Miller has a weight of 72 kilograms, which would mean his kinetic energy while jogging is equal to 364 sextillion joules, or 87 teratons of TNT. That would be enough energy to destroy a country. But there's more. If Barry can jog in flash time, then it's quite reasonable to assume that he can sprint in flash time too. As I said in my Captain America video, most humans can sprint between 10 and 15 miles per hour. We can average this and use 12.5 miles per hour. Multiplying this value by 45 billion would mean Barry can sprint at 251 billion meters per second, or 839 times faster than light. And his kinetic energy at this speed would be 2 septillion joules, or 544 teratons of TNT, which is enough energy to destroy a large country. Now in the comics, speedsters are usually able to survive the reaction forces of their punches, which would be equal to the actual force of their punch due to Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, so arguably we could scale Barry's durability to be equal to his attack potency as well, assuming that he's moving at that speed. Anyway, that's my reasoning as to why the DCEU Flash is a lot faster than we think. Based on a being who can process things 80 million times faster than any human, Barry should have the ability to move at hundreds of times the speed of light, with enough energy to destroy countries. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like and comment your thoughts down below, whether you agree or disagree with me. If you want to keep up with my social media, then you can follow my Instagram account at comic.book.myths. Feel free to DM me for future video ideas. That's it from me, and I'll catch you guys later.
Whoever you're looking for, it's not me.